It's the Sean Widmer Podcast. It's a journal by someone that just really doesn't like to write.
Welcome to a new episode of the Sean Widmer Podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Means a ton to me, and I hope you can enjoy today's episode. We've got a top 5 list for you. We're going to the world of TV. I might even bust out a double top 5 list. What a cop-out. I might end up, because it just worked out this way, I wrote down 5 things I'd like to see happen this year. Well, I wrote down things I'd like to see happen. I wrote down 5. So you're getting 2 5s, and then another 5, a triple 5. We got a shout out to my son and a location here in Lexington. We will get to those momentarily. Thank you very much to the Patreon members who support this whole thing over at patreon.com/Sean Widmer Podcast. Without you guys, the podcast doesn't happen. So thank you so much. Okay. If you are a Patreon member, you got Trivia 21. You get that on Tuesdays or Wednesdays, depending on when I can record it. You get some videos. You got to see the ice video. You got to see all the ice outside here in Lexington. It's insane right now. We're in the middle of an ice storm that is pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. I mentioned it the other day. It's not like the craziest thing in the world, but it is pretty wild. And yeah, you can go check that out on my Patreon. Okay. Let's kick it off with our shout-out to kick the podcast off. The shout-out today is going to Keeneland here in Lexington, Kentucky, the horse racing track, and then the surrounding area here in Lexington. If you are ever coming to visit me or visiting Lexington, or you live in Lexington, or you're considering coming here at all, go to Keeneland. I don't care what time of year it is. I've now tested that theory out. It's awesome in the spring. It is awesome in the fall. It is hot and awesome in the summer. And now I've seen it in the winter. It's got to be one of the most beautiful facilities for an event or anything that I've ever seen in my life. That is, I guess, man-made, sort of. Right there, you maybe go out to nature. I'll go to Sullivan Lake up in Washington and northeastern Washington. I think it's about as beautiful as it gets. That is sweet, sweet, untouched nature. We've taken nature and we've turned it into a horse racing track, along with fields that are, fenced in, some beautiful buildings. Does that make sense, the difference between those two? But as far as that goes, Keeneland's amazing. We went today, my guy Nathan and I, from work. We had a little work event we had to get out to today in Keeneland to set some stuff up, and it's covered in snow, 1.5 feet of snow, all the ice we had just talked about. And it looked like a Hallmark movie. Driving into that facility looked like a Hallmark movie. Like, get the cameras ready, bring up one of the 3 actresses, the 4 actors that play in those Hallmark Christmas movies. Get them here. You can put them up at my house, my in-laws' house, and let's film ourselves a Hallmark movie out of Keeneland. So shout out Keeneland. You're looking great. Also, big shout out to my man Huck, 3 years old. The day I'm recording this, Tuesday, the 7th. 3 years old for that dude. He's a nut. He's an absolute wild man. He has not been the easiest child in the world to raise, but that has not changed one bit of how much I love that kid. Maximum love for that dude. He makes me smile every single day. He makes me laugh a whole lot, and he's just a great kid. I love it. Despite sometimes the whininess, the kid whininess that hits. Hey, man, I love that guy. Hanging with him this morning before I went to work, after work this evening, was just so much fun, such a joy. He's such a bright light in my life. I love that kid. He is all Lightning McQueen right now. We are heavy into Lightning McQueen, and we are dabbling into the world of Sonic, and these two things combined are speed. We're talking about the fastest hedgehog in the history of the universe, along with one of the greatest race cars of all time. We are maximum speed in this house. And it is unfortunate for my son because he likes to run. That is his way to get around. And my daughter likes to scooter. And those two things have a tough time when it is a barefoot Huck and a scooter-driven Olivia. Huck's toes might never be the same ever again as long as he lives, and he can blame it on all the speed he wants to live out because of Lightning and Sonic. I love that kid. Happy birthday, Huck, man. You're the dude. I love it. Can't wait to see more years. Can't wait to see more birthdays. They're just I feel like they just get better and better, which is crazy to think about. It is weird to think as your kids get older, you get worried about, oh man, I don't want, you're going to miss this. I feel like so far every year, every birthday has gotten better and better. And I've enjoyed more and more celebrating these kids with more memories built in. And I got to assume that's going to keep happening. Okay, let's get into the meat and potatoes of today's episode because we got to talk about this. I started Shogun, and I really, really like it. So a couple reasons for me liking it, a couple things that were interesting to me. Sometimes I struggle with subtitles because I feel like there is great acting going on in a movie or a show, and I'm sitting here reading subtitles, and I'm missing what's going on the screen. So I have this weird disconnect between subtitles on a movie and not having them. But if a movie was filmed or a show was filmed with subtitles as its way to watch it, that's how I want to consume it. So this show was filmed to be watched with the subtitles. And I thought I was going to struggle with it. I'm a slow reader. It doesn't help, but it hasn't bothered me. I've really enjoyed it even with the subtitles. Number two, I'm not a big history guy. I'm just not. If you know me, if you've talked to me, you know I'm not a big history guy. Case in point, people love going back in their genealogy and saying, we are from Poland, and ask me where I'm from, and I'm like, United States, man. United States, that's where I'm from. That's where my mom and dad are from. That's where my grandparents are from. That is where my great-grandparents are from. So at some point, I'm going back so far. It's like, well, we only want you to go back so far as the first country you came from before the United States. But then stop there. Don't keep going. Stop there. Don't you dare go back 2 countries. Just go back 1. And I don't care enough to go back. I don't need to go back that far in history. All right. Is that stupid? Absolutely. Is that my brain? Absolutely. So I'm not a big history person. This is a show based on history, right? It is set in England, Poland, Spain. They are heading to the Far East. They have traveled around in their ships around the bottom part of South America, and they're coming back up, and they're discovering the Far East. They're discovering Japan and China and India and all these places that you heard about when you were learning history. Don't make me get more in depth than that because I didn't pay attention. And I didn't really love it when I was learning it. So knowing that's what the premise of the show was, I was kind of skeptical. But good Lord, it's great. I'm 2 episodes in. I'm hooked. I'm super excited after I record tonight to go bust out at least one more episode of Shogun. And the reason I'm watching it is because it was the winner of the Golden Globe for Best Drama Television Series the other night. So it won. Let's see what it knocked off because I want to see who the losers were here. Golden Globe Best Television Series Drama. Okay, so it knocked off The Day of the Jackal, never heard of it. The Diplomat, never heard of it. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, I love Childish Gambino, a show I want to watch. Haven't seen it. Slow Horses, never heard of it. Apple TV show. And Squid Game, I believe that's season 2, didn't watch it. So, I mean, it didn't knock off any shows that I really wanted to watch. But Shogun wins that award. And so I thought, okay, I'm really liking this 2 episodes in. Is it going to be an all-time great Golden Globe winner? So I went back and I looked, and I wanted to know what shows it needs to beat to be in that category of really, in my lifetime of watching television, one of the best dramas ever, according to the Golden Globes. So here are, in my opinion, the top 5 shows since the year 2000 that have won the Golden Globe Award for Best Television Series Drama. These are the 5 shows that Shogun has to try to beat to get into the top 5. Number 5, Mad Men. Mad Men won this award in 2007, 2008, 2009. I did not want to put Mad Men on the list because I did not like people who liked Mad Men at the time. Everyone was acting too cool for school about the show, but here I am putting it on the list as a top 5 show, which means that I might be pot calling kettle. Number 4 on the list. Number 4, 24. Oh, it hurts to put it this low. 24 has some absolutely spectacular seasons. It won this award in 2003. I think that is season 3 of 24. And the first season I think is amazing. I love the second season. Third season is actually really good. I mean, it won the award that year. 24 is awesome. I will tell you, as you get deeper into the show, I started to lose a little bit of my interest in it. But I would say overall that show stays really good. Hurts me to put it at number 4 because when I saw it, I immediately thought this is going to be number 2. But there were 2 shows better than 24 before getting to the one I knew was going to be number 1. Number 3, Succession. I love that ride. Now, if my mom asks me if I've ever seen Succession, I will say absolutely not. But if you ask me, yeah, I loved it. It's a mess of a show. It's a total train wreck. It is so out there and wild and crass and unbelievable. And you just look at characters and go, you disgust me. I loved the journey that was Succession. That is a show like the next 2 that I wish I could go back and watch again for the first time. I would love to take that ride again. Number 2, Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad rules. You know, I'm not out here on a limb getting crazy with it with my top 2. I'm not out here on a limb. Everyone loves Breaking Bad. There's a reason for that. Breaking Bad is awesome. The acting in it is great. The story in it is fantastic. The drama in it, obviously it won the drama for Best Drama Television Series. By the way, Breaking Bad won in 2013. I had mentioned Succession. Succession won in 2019. But Breaking Bad just takes you on a ride that is, I thought, dealt with very well. And one of the things I want to give Breaking Bad credit for, that a lot of the shows on this list, I don't think nailed. I think Succession did. But I don't think a lot of shows nailed it, is from beginning to end, they tell a great story. And I didn't really feel, I know maybe this is argued with, I didn't feel like it tapered off a ton in the end. I thought they landed the plane. And I think that's really hard to do. Breaking Bad is a great journey. If you have not taken it, get on and take that journey. But the number 1 show is Lost. 4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42. Lost, the constant, the hatch, the smoke monster, the dude who's in Shogun, who was in Lost, who looks like he's wearing eyeshadow, but he isn't. Jacob, Kate, who should have been chosen by Jack. Not Penny's boat. Slap it against. I mean, Lost is the greatest television journey. Back in the day when TV seasons were 400 episodes long, DVD box sets were as heavy as one of those old TVs, the old plasma TVs. It is elite. It is an elite television show. That is a journey I would give anything to relive for the first time. That is a show that if someone says, I have not seen Lost, would you watch Lost with me? I will say, get the popcorn. Let's go right now. I love it. And it's number 1. So there they are, the top 5 shows, the top 5 Golden Globe winners for Best Drama Television Series since 2000. Those are the 5 shows that Shogun is up against if it wants to crack into an all-time great Golden Globe drama television show winner. It's got to take down those 5. And I'm sure there's plenty before 2000. I was too young. I wasn't watching TV back then.
Kelly's, what are you into?
I love a beginning of the year list. And the 2 that I like are, I love predictions and I love resolutions. I love them. I think they're great. I think they're fun. Especially for podcast stuff. If someone's doing a podcast on these things, I'm always curious. I love it. I love following along on people's journeys. So I thought I'd share mine. And it just happened. I wrote them down separately at different times. Things I'd like to see happen in 2025. And then goals I have for 2025 that I want to share in the podcast. And I wrote down 5 for each. Not unintentional. That's just what I had written down. So I want to start with the top 5 things I'd like to see in 2025. These are sort of predictions. I'm going against nobody on this. I would have loved to have get Brandon on and done a 5 versus 5, but we're just going to throw them out there. These are things I'd love to see. The top 5 things I'd love to see. Very personal. I need book 3 of the King Killer Chronicles to come out. Okay, Patrick Rothfuss. It needs to happen. The last book in the King Killer Chronicles, one of my favorite book series of all time. Is it top 5? I don't know. I didn't have enough time to do a 15th top 5 list today. Top 5 show. Book 1 came out in 2007. Book 2 came out in 2011. And here we sit waiting for The Doors of Stone. Where is it? Where is it? An unbelievable book series. My I guess cousin-in-law married my cousin Mark Axton, former Eastern Eagle, go Eagles. He recommended these books to me, and I consumed the first 2 so quickly, and then I've just been sitting here for over 7 years, waiting. So I need book 3. So in terms of things I'd love to see this year, let's finish the King Killer Chronicles. Patrick Rothfuss, thank you. I'm ready for some new phone tech. Okay, I'm ready for some new phone tech. I am ready for more than battery length of battery. I'm ready for more than a camera upgrade. I'm ready for more than speed on it. I'm ready for more than new emojis. I need a revolutionary camera upgrade. I need something that looks, feels, and is different. I don't make up what that is, because if I make up what that is, it won't be as exciting. I didn't make up smartphones, and when they came out, it was like, oh my gosh, this is the greatest. So I need the nerds, the tech nerds, to give me something this year. Give me an advancement in cell phone technology that rocks our world. I have 2 movie ones, so I'm going to separate them. I want a movie that goes down as an all-time great. Okay, I want a movie this year that we are talking about 10, 20 years from now. Okay, when we're talking about great movies. I don't know why the movie Seven just came to mind, maybe because I was thinking Brad Pitt. But, a movie like Seven, that if you're just in random conversation, someone's looking for a good thriller, someone will still throw out Seven. Someone's talking about a funny movie. Dumb and Dumber is from the 90s, and people will still throw that out, right? That is 30 years ago. I need a movie that is 10, 20 years down the road. We are talking about it. You are recommending it to people. I need one of those this year. I would love to see this year a new great phone app that is like Pokemon Go, Wordle, something like that, that everyone, Flappy Bird, that everyone has downloaded and everyone is doing it, whether it's for a long time or a week. Wordle lasted a long time. I'm still doing Wordle every day with my mom and dad, every day. And I know Kevin, my guy Kevin, who was on the podcast last week, he's been doing it every day for 3 years. It's insane how long their streak is with Wordle. Wordle still has hooks in. I'm sure Pokemon Go does too. That beginning of Pokemon Go was insane. I don't think anyone will forget that first 2 to 3 weeks of Pokemon Go where everyone in America was walking around with their heads down trying to catch them all. It was awesome. It was awesome. I'd love to see another one of those this year. I need that fad. It's just so much fun for society to have something like that for a period of time. And finally, I need this Taco Bell, McDonald's, Burger King. I need a pull tab game. I need it to be tied into a movie. I'm sure there's some Marvel movies coming out this year. That Superman movie comes out this summer. I need a pull tab on the French fries, on the cup, instant winner, $1 million, something basic like that. Free small fry, medium drink. I need a pull tab game at a fast food restaurant. Not a QR code, not an enter this on our website. Straight up, rip it, grip it, rip it, instant win it. I need one of those. All right, so there's 5 things I'd love to see this year. I have 5 goals, just random goals I'm going to throw out there to the podcast people. We already talked about a few months ago, growing the podcast. Hard to do. Going to keep grinding on it. Hopefully you enjoy today's. Feedback's always welcome over at shawnslife.com, on Spotify or on YouTube. But here's 5 just completely random goals. I'll start with the food one. You guys, if you listen to the podcast, you know I like food, whether it's fast food, food at home. I love food. This is my year. Curry is happening. I am getting curry down to a science. I'm going to find recipes that I want to try. I'm going to try them. I'm going to perfect it this year. to the point where I don't need a recipe. I don't need to think about it. I want it to be effortless, right? By the end of this year, I want to just be able to go to the store. I know what I've got. I want to have stuff in my pantry at all times that I can kind of work with. And I want to be able to put together a really good curry by the end of 2025. 150 hours of skateboarding needs to happen this year. I downloaded an app that's going to track it when I go skateboarding and how long I go. I know I'm going to get my basketball time in. I know that because I've got set days that I'm doing that. And I one of the other things is a sports one. There's going to be some time worked in there. But skateboarding took a back seat last year in my life. And I want to bring that back because I'm very happy when I'm skateboarding. Talked to my guy Ben at work about this. He and I both like to skateboard, and we both discussed that when we are skateboarding more frequently, we are happier just in general. It brings a lot of joy to my life. And so 150 hours by the end of the year, I think that's like 3 hours a week, right around 3 hours a week, 2 to 3 hours a week. That seems very feasible, but it's also hard to cut in that time. But that's the goal. Got the app. I'm at 0 right now. We're jam-packed with ice. So I'm 1 week behind already. I want to get Olivia into a board game that she really likes. We have Old Maid, and she will play Old Maid, but it's just the two of us, and Old Maid stinks with two people. So that one's not really working. When we get a third person, she'll play Old Maid with us, and I think she digs it. But she doesn't go out of her way to ask for it. Okay? Now, she's 5 years old. When I was 5 years old, I do not remember a ton from when I was 5, but I remember one thing. For my birthday, my mom and dad got me a board game that was, I do not remember how it was played. I do not remember any of that, but I remember it had some Disney characters in it. And it looked very Chutes and Ladders-y, where you just went around the board, roll dice, go around the board, and land into space and something happens. And I played it by myself a ton, and it was kind of when I knew I loved board games. Loved. So I'd love to, my daughter's 5, I'd love to like throw some out there. We haven't really visited a lot of them in a while. I would love to revisit Candyland with her. I think we went early on Candyland with her in terms of how her brain works with stuff like this. You know, so I want to revisit some board games, try to get her into one, because nothing would make me happier than to have her coming up to me being like, Dad, you're home. Let's play Candyland. Absolutely. Done. Number 4 on this, I need to begin my pickleball path, my journey. I'm not in it yet. I've talked about this. I'm not a golf guy. I am a pickleball guy. That is my path from basketball moving forward for hobbies in the world of sports. It is pickleball, no question about it. I really love it. You can play it as you get older. 2 weeks ago, I had an incident in the basketball court. I threw my back out, and it's now been 1 week and 1 day, and it's still in a bad spot. It's not perfect yet. And I'm not done, but I notice, I'm getting older, and it takes me a longer time to recover. And so I know that basketball is not going to be there forever. I've still got a lot of years of it left, but I need to start dipping my toes into the pickleball world here and just making friendships with people who play. I know my neighbor here in Lexington runs a big pickleball group, so I just need to kind of start getting my name in over the next few years, playing a little bit here and there, getting the hang of it, starting to get that dopamine from it, and I need to start the pickleball path for me personally in a bigger way than just like, oh, I really like pickleball. And then let's nerd out with one. This is for the tabletop role players out there. I want to write an adventure, a one-shot adventure, and put it on Drive-Thru RPG that people can download and enjoy. Now, for those of you who that just means nothing to you, if you're playing a game like Let's Just Go Dungeons and Dragons, it's the easiest one. One of the things people can do is you go and you get a module, you get a pre-written adventure, and so if you're running the game, someone has written an adventure for you, and you kind of follow the path of it, relaying it to your players, and they play through this story or mystery or world or whatever it might be that was written by somebody else. And then, you can, as the game person, you can modify it how you want and take your people wherever they want to go, and they may not follow exactly what the plan was, but this gives you a skeleton, a really good skeleton with a beginning, end, and stuff you can do in the middle in your game. And I want to write one. I want to write one. I want to post it on DriveThruRPG, which is like the big site to get these things. And I just want to have something up there because I think it sounds really cool. It's also very challenging. Okay. So there you go. There's 5 little goals for me. What are yours? What is something you'd like to see happen? You can do that in the comments, whether it's at seanslife.com, if you're listening on Spotify, or over on YouTube. Let's take a look at the comments, shall we? Because I feel like I haven't done that in a minute. Are there some that I need to catch up on? My guy Kelly McGillis says, hey, merry everything. Call me. They put his phone number. Ian says this, I absolutely love the predictions. They were funny as heck, but at the same time, when they came true, it was wild. Oh, that was back on the Jay and Kevin show. Die Hard had better writing than The Princess Bride. The Princess Bride had better acting. For me, Princess Bride doesn't count as because it's missing elements found in Hallmark Christmas movies, the same ones Die Hard has. I don't get the same dopamine hit from projects like other people do as well. Okay, love that part. Thank you, Ian. Teammates, let's go. Don't do that. Princess Bride doesn't count because everything I've said about Die Hard forever, you can't just all of a sudden be like, I'm a Die Hard supporter, and now Merry Christmas, I fell off of Yakisobe Tower or whatever it's called. That's not the right name. Like you can't just say that. What is it? Yakisoba is not. That is what is that that's just a sauce. That's just a sauce. Let me get my name right here. It is the Nakatomi. I wasn't even close. Yakisoba. My brain's still on curry. I don't know if you're going to use that in curry. I haven't dove into it yet. All right, and then comments off of Spotify. Let's see what we got here. This one says, from Yvonne, ice like our ice storm. It's been raining here in Seattle. Oh, it's been raining up in Spokane like it does in Seattle. We did get snow on New Year's, but warmed up, melted, and more rain. Didn't get snow for Christmas. I was bummed. I need to get more hot cocoa. Missed you last week. I worked during Ice Storm 96. Andrew was in the hospital for second heart surgery. Anyhow, I'm glad you're back. Thank you, Yvonne. I missed doing it. This is a fun thing for me to do. Yvonne only got 7 right in Trivia 21 this week. Yvonne, we got to step it up. We got to get double digits. Yvonne, we got to get double digits next week. It's just got to happen. I've got a hot cocoa story eventually for the podcast. Not for right now, but eventually I've got one. And thank you for the comment. Like I said, everyone can comment over on Spotify where Yvonne did. I think there was one. Was there one more I needed to read? Let's see here. This one says, from Kelly, says, Die Hard is a freaking Christmas movie. Okay, I'm not going to get into that right now. I'm over arguing it. I'm over arguing it. I totally disagree with that 100%, unless you also say Princess Bride is a Christmas movie because it happens at Christmas. The entire story is being told right during Christmas. You cannot deny it. It is a Christmas movie. Like Die Hard is a Christmas movie, happens at a Christmas party. I don't understand. I didn't want to do this. Why do people have to be so difficult about understanding what the majority of people mean when they say Christmas movie? Like, why did that become a big debate where people are like, Die Hard, yeah, cute. I mean, kind of cute. Not really. It's kind of not really even cute. Not really even clever. Just kind of I think everyone knows what we mean by a Christmas movie. Santa Claus, happy, or, emotional love, Christmas. Like Christmassy, more focus on Christmas, less focus on walking on broken glass. Die Hard rules, man. Die Hard absolutely rules. I actually think you do it a disservice by calling it a Christmas movie. I think it belongs in the action movie category. First and foremost. And to those of you who have shortchanged it by putting it in Christmas, it's a Christmas movie, you don't get to be everything. So you guys who have put it in Christmas category so it can go up against Elf and White Christmas, shame on you. You don't like it enough. Rewatch it. It belongs in the action category, so when we're comparing it to its peers, it's going tit for tat with the heavy hitters in the action world. But I guess some of you just don't like it that much. All right. Thank you for listening. Talk again soon.